Hi, lovely to see you back. And yeah, and if you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. Yeah, so welcome back, guys. And I'm just here to tell you guys a quick story of how I got diagnosed with my heart condition. Um, yeah, so basically in 2019, that's when it all started. But little backstory before then, I had a normal life. I lived a normal life just like anybody, just like you, perfectly normal life from I was born till 2019. So basically, so 2019 now, um, I remember traveling two times in that year. I traveled in July to Kenya for my grandma's funeral. Rest in peace, grandma. Shosho, actually, we call her Shosho in Kenya. Um, and then traveling to Turkey in December for my birthday. And in that trip, so traveling to Kenya was all fine. It was fine. That was the first time traveling in so many years. Um, and then traveling to Turkey now. So I remember at the time I was with my youngest one's dad, and we went for my birthday. And I remember we were about to miss a train to Heathrow. It's so sunny here, like oh, it's so lovely. Thank God I've got this hat, even though it's a bit hot. But so yeah, so we were traveling to Turkey, and we was about to miss a train to go to Heathrow, and we had to run for that train. And I remember running down the stairs and jumping. As soon as I jumped in that train, I remember my heart feeling so, I can't even explain the words for it, but I just remember there was a lot of pain, a lot of shortness of breath. And the pain was just so severe. And I remember thinking, oh my God, what's this? I've never had a heart attack. I shall never and will never in Jesus' name. But that felt, I don't know what a heart attack feels like, but you know, when you get any chest pains, straight away you go into, am I having a heart attack? But that's how I felt at the time. And I remember saying it to my partner, and he just kind of was like, oh, it's because you ran. He wasn't too interested. So that was that. And I remember being in that train thinking, oh my God, what's happening? Like I could have really made a fuss out of it, but then I was so embarrassed. I thought, I don't know what I thought. I just kind of downplayed it. But in my mind, I was like, oh my God, and we're traveling away. What if something happens up in the air while we're traveling? Or, you know, we're going to a foreign country, we haven't insured ourselves. What, what if something happens? So that was that. Fast forward, the trip was fine, came back fine. I didn't get any symptoms while I was there. Came back, and then shortly after that, I got really ill, like seriously ill. Um, in the past, I've been ill. I remember I was pregnant one time with my son, and that was around the time when swine flu was around. And I remember having swine flu, and I was ill. I was heavily pregnant. And when they say, when all these viruses come through, especially the severe ones, people with underlying condition and pregnant people and older people get more ill. And I was one of the pregnant, but with the swine flu, I was ill, yes, but it wasn't that bad. But this time around in 2019, after the holiday, I was so ill. And one of the things I remember was on my left arm, inside my arm, on that crease bit, on that corner bit inside, I remember having like a big line, and it looked like, when you scrape yourself and you get the scar, it looked like that. And for a while, I didn't pay any attention to it until after a while, I was like, why is it not scabbing? Like, the scab comes after. So I was like touching it, and I realized it was more on the inside rather than the outside of the skin. So that was a bit dodgy. So I was thinking, did like a vein or blood vessel, or I don't know if they're two same things, but um, my drink just dropped. But did that pop inside my skin or something? And it would explain, I don't know, with the pain I was getting and that happening, I was like, that's a bit too dodgy. So that was that. So fast forward shortly after that, that's when they were announcing COVID this, COVID that. Again, we still didn't know about the COVID thing, but now looking back, I think I had the COVID around that time, 2019, because they started announcing it in June. No, sorry, not June, January, February, March time in 2020. So at the back of my head, I thought, you know what, maybe that's what I had, and that's why I was so ill. So fast forward. So now it's COVID, they're announcing COVID. And at this point, I was in and out of hospital with severe chest pains. Again, all new to me. We had no clue what it was. And the doctors had no clue what was happening. So I kept going to the GP quite a lot and telling them I've got chest pains. This is how I'm feeling. I'm out of breath. And the chest pains are more in the middle and on the left side of the arm, going to my back. And as soon as they had that, straight away you have to go to A&E. So I went to A&E quite a few times. Like around that time, December, January time, I was literally having a lot of hospital trips. And each time I went there, they would think I'm having a heart attack, because everything I'm telling them, the symptoms are all related to heart attack. As you can imagine, that must be, that was so scary. I can't even tell you how that felt. And I can't even imagine how my kids must have felt, constantly seeing ambulance in the house, them picking me up. And one thing I learned that then was I couldn't call the GP because they don't deal with any heart related issues. That was just too urgent, and I needed to go to A&E straight away. So they would send me straight to A&E. Yeah, and like I said, every time I went there, they would just say, we're going to do blood test. They would check the blood test, do the ECG, and would find nothing. So they said to me, we're going to refer you to cardiology and get you a scan there. They can monitor you there. So that's exactly what happened. But remember, guys, it was in the midst of lockdown, so getting an appointment was really hard. But I got one in the end. I think it was around June. Yeah, June 2020. So done the MRI scan. They sent me over for MRI scan, got that done. And I remember going to the hospital, and that it was completely empty. Again, in the midst of lockdown, it was completely empty, which was nice. It was really nice. Oh yeah, the other thing as well, I remember when they were saying, oh, if you have any underlying health condition, don't go out, don't do this, don't do that. And of course, that was scary. It was scary enough, the COVID thing and what we was hearing, but it was more scary when you have an underlying health condition. So yeah, so that was scary, and I was a lot, I was making sure that I wasn't around a lot of people. So when I went to the hospital now, got the scan done and got my results, and oh my God, this was like the end and the beginning of something, if that makes sense, because it was the end of the worrying and not knowing what you've got, and it was almost as well the end of me being normal. Like, yeah, it felt like the end of me being normal, and also the beginning of a new life, a new chapter with this heart condition. And it actually is like that, because till today it feels like that like this is my new normal now. So got the test results. It could have been worse. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but it's still bad, especially when it comes to the heart. So they diagnosed me with cardiomyopathy, non-compact left something. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I asked my doctor to explain it to me, and they couldn't explain it to me. I mean, they did, but not to how I understand. You know what doctors are like. They will explain it to you, but in their doctor's way. And actually, before then, I remember I used to work in Busy Bees, working with children. And I used to have severe pains, like really bad pains, to a point where I was even scared to hold the children, to like carry the children. And that time when I got when I got the results back from my doctor, where I worked was like literally by the hospital, downstairs from the hospital. So after work, in the midst of work, I asked them to give me time off to get my results. And I remember going there, and I was holding my handbag. I had a very simple handbag, and I couldn't even hold that. It was so heavy. It was just so painful. It's like right. The best example is, when you go to the gym and you work out and you're in so much pain, that's what it felt like. Just holding a simple handbag, just holding a simple cup of tea and drinking a cup of tea, like that was just so painful. Like when you hold something and do this, so painful. It's as if like I had been to the gym for so many days and I've not had a break, as well as other different type of pains as well. So when I went to the doctor, I was holding my handbag, and I remember him asking me, "Tell me your symptoms." And the best I could explain to him was like, when I came here, holding this handbag was so painful for me. And he was like, right, all this. And as well as work, I told them what I was diagnosed with, and they were like, "Grace, you need to be careful." It affected my job as well, because a lot of times I would get admitted in hospital, and of course the next day I had work, so I couldn't go to work. So that still affects my work. Um, so yeah, so after being diagnosed, I remember going back home thinking, "Oh my God, I just like my whole life flashed right in front of me. Like, what does this mean? I'm gonna die? Does this mean I'm gonna, I could die anytime? Does this mean, I had all these questions in my head, and I lived in worry. And I remember like looking at my kids, thinking, "Oh my God, my kids, my kids." That's all I could think about. Like, if I was a single person, if I die, I die. It's whatever. I'm gonna die at some point. But looking at my kids, and they were so young, and I was like, "Oh my God," like that really broke my heart. Um, so yeah, that's how I lived with it. Like, it was just constant pain. It was almost like every now and then, every few days. Um, and it actually, no, let me not lie, it was all the time, every day I was having severe pains. But it was now and then I would call the doctors, because sometimes the pain would be so severe, and I'm like, "Oh my God, no, what's that?" Um, I remember I used to have a lot of bath as well. I would go in the bath whenever I get the pains, just to try, just to try help. I would use a lot of hot water bottles. I don't know if they worked or not, but that's what I used. Um, I would try to make a lot of natural remedies. Again, I don't know if they worked or not. Um, yeah, so yeah, it was a lot of that worrying. I told my friends about it. I told my family about it. Um, and to be fair, my family never took me that serious. I don't feel like they did. I'm sorry. I know they're gonna be watching this, but I don't think they did until today. I don't think they ever have, because they don't question me about it. They don't ask me how it affects me, and this will probably be the first time they'll find out how it affects me. Um, my friends, yeah, they got worried. Yeah, as friends would, they got worried, and they were. I don't. With my family, I don't know if they were scared or they were. I don't know. I don't know. And the other thing as well, the doctors say to me, I was apparently born with it. Um, and I asked him, how comes it's never affected me and it's affecting me now, kind of thing. And they couldn't give answers. They were like, maybe is as you get old, that's when you find out about a lot of stuff. As well, the other thing they asked me is, how are my siblings? How is my mom? Do they suffer from anything? Have they ever been checked? Have they ever been diagnosed with anything? And of course, again, I was like, no, they've never said anything. I've never asked them. They've never told me anything. So they were like, they need to get checked, so we know if it's just you or if it's something that it runs in the family. Again, till today, I'm still waiting for my family to get that check done. And they say, well, what difference is it going to make? It's going to make a huge difference, because for my kids as well, because if it runs in you, it's going to run in me, it's going to run in my kids. So it's important for us to know if it stops Yeah, sorry, I don't know why the video cut out. I'm recording directly from my phone. But yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, so I'm still trying to convince them to get tested. But my older one, so they said if your family don't want to get tested, the kids can get tested. And at the time they were only young, so they had to be the age of 18 and above. So my older one is 18 now, and she's on the waiting list to get tested. So I can't wait. And I pray in Jesus' name she haven't got it. In Jesus' name, she has not got it. I'm claiming that, and that's that. End of, full stop. Um, yeah, so that was that with the family side of it. And yeah, the part they said that, oh yeah, the other thing they said as well was, oh, have you got any kids? And I was like, yeah, 3 kids. Oh, 3 kids. And he was acting shocked to the doctor, 3 kids. I say, well, yeah. And he was like, did you have normal delivery? I said, yeah. No complication. What? Yeah, in Jesus' name. And he acted very shocked. And I was like, why? He's like, well, with this condition, I'm surprised you had kids. Okay, all right. I'm surprised you had normal delivery. If you know, we would recommend not to try for kids unless you were monitored. Well, guess what? I had a normal delivery with no help apart from my youngest one. I didn't take no painkillers, just gas and air for one of them. The older one, no gas and air, straight delivery, even though she was like 4 pounds something, she was tiny. And the middle one, I just had gas and air. That's it. The little one, the youngest one, I had a C-section because she was back to back, and we were both stressed. But apart from that, all good. But yeah, he just made it out like I was not supposed to have kids. So I was like, oh, okay. I've got 3 beautiful children. God bless me. And that can't stop nothing. When God says yes, nobody can say no. Um, so yeah, so that was that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it here, and I will tell you the next part. Tune in for part 2. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go into when I used to go to hospital trips and the results I would get. It wasn't no normal results, especially later, way after lockdown. There used to be a lot of very scary moments as well. I will go into my heart monitor. I've got loop recorder fitted in. That was quite something. That was something I was never prepared for. How I got it done. And yeah, guys, tune in for part 2. And thank you for tuning in. And as well, I just want to also say as well, if there's any doctors out there, anybody, any professionals watching this, doctors, cardiology, um, I'm open to, you can reach out to me. I'm open to, talking about it, because to how rare this condition is, I still don't get it. And from what I'm getting from my doctors, they don't know much about it. So it's a bit of yeah, it's a bit of a limbo, because I don't know where I stand. I really don't. Like, I want to know more about it. And when I try to research about it, there's things, but there's nothing much. And when I try to talk to my doctors about it, it's like all they keep saying to me is, don't get me wrong, the doctor is really good. He's so good. But all I hear is it's a rare heart condition and this is what it is. We haven't had a lot of cases of it, so we don't know how it affects people. And you know what? Sometimes I feel like, to be very honest, I really feel like it's so rare that I'm one of the ones that have got it. I would love to meet someone else that's got it. That's why I opened up this channel, because when I was there trying to research and try to find people with the same heart condition, I couldn't find nothing. So I thought, why don't I open up an account to, raise their awareness and, hopefully reach out to people with similar condition, and hopefully get together and talk about how it affects them. So so yeah, I would just like to find out more about it. If there's any doctors out there, please, I'm so open to you guys reaching out to me, or meeting up and talking about it. But yeah, but thank you so much.